easy landing. It's a parachuter's motorbike, and that's a Luftwaffe pilot's jacket with the iron across second class. And as you know, their jackets only came down to about there, and then that's Truscott. I don't know whether any of you went to Truscott, and you were given 2 bottles of long neck beer a day if you were ground crew, because you weren't allowed to leave. It was so secret. This bottle was 1945, and that's the Loran, part of the Loran system, which was the system almost as good as GPS, which has only just been turned off in America, but it used to run north of Australia at Truscott right up through the island so that the bomber pilots could navigate. And but coming back to here, that was the map you were given in, well, this is Italy, but for you Spitfire pilots to fly 045 for 15 minutes or whatever it was. The little maps. And being a British aeroplane, John can't hear, but this is your up-down indicator, if you remember. And instead of having a rheostat, you had a Holland blind to pull down for night flying. The only rheostat was on your gun sight. That's your camera gun button. And this is your jammy. That was your jammy in the door. This is an original one. And it's a replica on there, but on the Spitfire itself, but this is a real one. And these pieces are interesting. They were given to us by Ike Wheaton. He was a very old man in World War II, and he was 40 during the Battle of Britain. And he was an engineer, and as you know, the Rolls-Royce Merlins were very, very complicated, and they had to go back to the Rolls-Royce factory to be repaired. And he thought there was a war on, and he made his own tools to be able to take a Merlin to pieces. And Supermarine Spitfire Company thought that he did such a wonderful job, they gave him this genuine Supermarine ashtray, Drill McCoy. And he was very kind. He gave us those, and he gave us the things he used to make out of the cannon shells. As you know, that's the button. Just tell me, Bruce, the top one is cannon or machine gun?
I'd be telling you a fib if I said I remembered. I don't, but one was everything.
Yes, that's everything.
Yeah, well,
and that's
which was the top one I wouldn't have forgotten.
No.
But I would think it would have been a cannon, the top one. I don't know why, but it's more logical that you'd push the bottom one, so they would have put the cannon one, I think, for safety up the top. Yeah.
Well, Al Rawlinson, and I never asked him that question, but he was saying that they were taught to aim with the cheap 303s, and when you were hitting the aeroplane, the target, you switched to the cannon, but nobody ever bothered.
Nobody ever had time to do that.
No, you only had 30 seconds, and of course you know the ammunition. And that's Alec's dog tag, that's the control yoke of an 8-gun Spitfire from the Battle of Britain, if you want to see that. But Alec crashed 4 Spitfires, and one of them was a glycol leak 70 miles out to sea from a Moti, and he bailed out, and so he got the Caterpillar Club badge and also the Goldfish certificate. And
70 mile out the sea, we're lucky to picked up with me.
That's right.
well, I'll tell you the story. He was flying along, and you got to bail out. You got a minute to live, and he rolled her upside down. He jumped out and opened his parachute. He's coming down, and he thinks, will I not dump my fleecy line boots? And he dumped them. Years after the war, the Air Force was sending him a bill for them. Anyhow, he looked around and he could see nothing. No doubt he was a bit excited though. And he fell into the sea, and there he was all by himself, nothing in sight. And over the horizon came the SS Stockton, a US naval steam destroyer. And the bow waves coming straight at you, and he thinks they haven't seen me, they're going to chop me in half. And at the last minute, they chopped apart, fell into the water like a speedboat, pulled up alongside it, climbed up the rope ladder. The captain was there with a bottle of brandy and said, would you like a brandy? And Alex said, oh, it's only 9 in the morning. Oh, this is the ripcord that Alec pulled when he bailed out.
He didn't let go of it.
Lovely to have all those.
What was that?
He didn't let go of it at all.
No, he kept that, and then in here we've got some interesting things. That's Max Johnson. These were at the latter stages of the war in Europe, and the fleecy line boots are escape boots. In the heel you've got a penknife to cut off the top part, and of course the buttons, the eagle, could be unscrewed and thrown away, and the epaulets came off. And that's your emergency rations, and you've seen the 12-volt heated suit, and that's the contents of the emergency rations. And you remember these, this was in your emergency rations. This is a compass.
Yes.
And then on your dog tag, you know that this hung there, and you dropped it in water and it turns around the pole to north. The thing that these, Ray Green gave me these things that, yes, a bowerbird, he brought all these things back from the war, and in those display cabinets, he was the invasion money. The Japanese aerodromes. He was at Balikpapan when the Japanese were locked up, and after the war it took a while to get them home, and they used to do these drawings on handkerchiefs and things for the airmen. And that's a Japanese zero drop tank. Remember, they used to drop that, come in over Milingimbi or out towards Columbaroo, and drop their drop tank, well, 40 miles, nautical miles south of Darwin, and attack Darwin from the rear because of the radar on Bathurst Darwin. That's a Japanese tool shed, the chest off an aircraft carrier, and interestingly, that's for the governor and the centre of the propeller. But interestingly, they don't use dates like we do. It's the, what does it say there? I haven't got my glasses on there yet. 16th year of the Emperor, which is 1941, isn't it? I haven't got my glasses on.
On the which?
Yeah, 1941.
Yeah, it's the year of the Emperor.
Yeah.
And this is Archie Moore holding this flag, and that's a Japanese walkie-talkie and Japanese invasion money. Yeah.